Greetings to you, everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about atomic absorption spectrometry, an analytical technique that measures the concentration of elements in the given sample. Here, you are going to detect the presence of different substances or elements are present in a given a sample through a process called ionization. In ionization, you are converting a sample into a gaseous state through a heating process, and during this process, the molecule which you are studying would be converted into a reactive positively charged or negatively charged substance in gas condition, and during this reactive condition they tend to absorb light at particular wavelength effectively, and because of the absorbance of light, the gaseous substance would be elicited or excited, and this excited substance will absorb energy and go to a higher energy level. So always I have told you in the earlier lectures too, higher energy level substances are not highly stable, so whatever they tend to come back to the normal ground level condition, and during this transition excess energy absorbed by the substance would be released into the surrounding environment, and this energy is being studied by a detector. In case of nuclear magnetic resonance and electron spin resonance spectroscopy, we were studying this release of energy in the form of electric potential, that is electric signal. Here in atomic absorption spectroscopy, you would be studying this energy transition in the form of light. Okay, so what kind of light is emitted during the transition of excited substance to the normal ground level condition. So this is the core principle behind atomic absorption spectroscopy. So it's being done with the instrumentation that contains three major parts. First one, light source, which is used to elicit or excite the ionized substance in the sample chamber. And the second setup is a sample container or sample cell where you would be placing your sample, so which is subsequently treated in a heating chamber, and this heating chamber shall evaporate all your substance into a gaseous condition. So just now I told you, gaseous condition of your substance is otherwise known as ionized state. This ionized sample is taken further into another chamber where it meets the light source that comes from the origin area, and when the light source is hitting the ionized substance, and it tends to go to that excited level, and everything is being done with the inside a containment, so with the which contains a detector or a sensor. So this is the common instrumentation behind atomic absorption spectroscopy. Coming to a few detailed aspects of each and every segment. First region is light source. So like your normal light, here the light source is a normal hollow cathode lamp which contain tungsten anode and a cylindrical halo cathode tube. This light is carried by inert gases such as neon and or argon present in the light source chamber, and this light source is undergoing four different stages before meeting the ionized substance in the excitation chamber. So the four processes are ionization, sputtering, excitation, emission. In the first process, even the light itself is ionized, that is excited, okay, with the inert gas present in the chamber, and which is further split or sputtered with a excitation, electric induction. Okay, for example, you are walking in a road, all of a sudden if you are being chased by a dog, what you would do, you would start to run, isn't it? And if a group of dogs are chasing you, definitely you would be running like anything in that condition. The same way, normal light source releases a electron or photon. It has to be excited or it has to be boosted. So this process done with a process called excitation. Before excitation, you must prepare the ionized electron beam with a process called sputtering. And in the third stage, excitation stage, the sputtered light source is excited, and it is allowed to go to a higher energy level and come back to the normal level. And during this process, there would be a release of light which is being used to meet the ionized substance in the excitation chamber. So this is all about light source part. And coming to the next segment, if you want to allow a particular wavelength of light to hit the sample, you can filter out using certain selective filtering process with the help of chromatograph, what you see in the picture in front of you. Meanwhile, the sample would be heated on the I told earlier, and it is converted into ionized gaseous state. This process is called atomization, and this atomized substance is further taken to next chamber, where the light and atomized substrate is allowed to interact, and this induces the ionized substrate. And this excitation leads to a transition to higher level and lower energy level, and this higher to lower energy level transition is releasing the energy in the form of light. This emitted light is further read by a sensor that is located at the end of the instrument. Okay, fine. So this is all about atomic absorption spectroscopy. So you would have seen the video that has been shared in the group by me. So try to correlate this concept with the video what you have seen. So the applications of atomic absorption spectroscopy are there in many fields. In clinical analysis, you will be able to analyze certain metals present in biological fluids such as blood and urine. Even in monitoring your environment, this atomic absorption spectroscopy is used. For example, if you want to assess the pollution level in a fish system. Okay, so what you can do, you can take out the fish and you can chop out the fish and you can extract the fluid from the fish. And if you are subjecting the fish fluid to atomic absorption spectroscopy, you may be able to spot what kind of pollutants are present in the fish body. Okay, the same way in pharmaceutical field, you'd be able to find out the presence of various pharmaceutical compounds in a drug molecule. Even you'll be able to find the presence of certain impurities in the pharmaceutical system. The same way in industry. So there are major toxic elements or industrial products that can be studied using atomic absorption spectroscopy. For example, you are working in industry and you are in a quality control area field. All of a sudden, you are finding the products are turning into particular colored byproduct, so which is not desirable for your company. So what you do, you'll try to find what is the reason behind the color development. Okay, one technique with which you can easily spot the presence of molecules in the substance your product is atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, like this, like there are plenty of applications for atomic absorption spectroscopy. So you can refer all this information in the study material shared by me in the group. Kindly go through. If you do have any doubt, you are most welcome to ask in the group itself. Okay, thank you.